Hello, I'm Rosz, and you're watching, listening to PRAGMAGICK. It's been a while. Lots of shit went down the past few months. Not only a major relocation and basically new terraformed Earth around me, but a lot of change and a lot of output. I'll just quickly mention that I've released a new album, the second installment of the Rosz ALGOL series, ALGOL II ECO. And you can find it primarily in its hauntomantic, beautifully woven, fully tethered form, fully at wethehallowed.org. We as creators are taking charge of the distribution of the music, and we're hosting how it should have been played, intended, listened to with extras and additives, all from our own site, our own address, and our own digital domain, free from the streamers. That is to say, you can still get a BANDCAMP only version at BANDCAMP, where you can download the full high quality tracks as well. But that also is a uniquely tethered and individualized output itself. So this new album really has three distinct formats. One is everything housed at wethehallowed.org/echo-aspectre, and that is the name of this version of the record. It also showcases the BANDCAMP version and additive extras like instrumental tracks that I hope wandering audiomancers and weirdos and witches deconstruct, take, and remix, rebirth, do whatever you want to. And those that are still privy to the BANDCAMP construct, of which I have been for now going on 20 years, I've just discovered, you can find a version much punchier, less of a lore score, more erudite and to the point at rebelrosz.bandcamp.com. And for those flighty, fishy folk, there's a couple, just a few, of the tracks from the album available on all streaming platforms. And already I've noticed they've auto-mastered it incorrectly. It's a shanda. It's trash. Fight the streamers, give the power back to the creatives, and let's revive the dead internet into the undead internet to haunt on. So check out wethehallowed.org for the full experience of ALGOL II. What you're about to witness, I hope, is a pretty magnanimous and interesting footnote in the long, expansive now career of PRAGMAGICK, and that is one of the few, and hopefully beginning of, person, or in-person, I should say, interviews. And this one was conducted in New York City late last month. And it was with somebody that I have known digitally, I've known from afar, never met in the flesh, never met somatically, but have become quite fond of his brain, become quite fond of his humor and his, animated guile that he shares, and corresponding with things from metaphysics to tabletop RPGs. And that person is C.W. Chanter. I will have a couple of caveats. It wouldn't be a PRAGMAGICK outing if there wasn't some sort of technical goof. So the audio might be a little bit odd. That's because I did my damnness to fix the mic issues that we had when we discovered only one of the lapel mics was on the entire stream. And so please forgive the shoddy audio and also the video. I was working with scraps. I was out on a fluke of a work trip and just so happened to, have this kismet kind of interview thing pop up with CW. So I was not ready or prepared in a professional sense to film and capture such a wonderful chat. But I did my damnedest. So there is video. It's kind of edited to, you know, be a little bit more interesting. And the audio is, of course, you know, fixed from what was there. Without further ado, here's the first and what I hope to be a ongoing new chapter in focus with PRAGMAGICK. Not unlike how the podcast was started back in the We the Hollowed Salon days of 2018-ish. We're coming back to in-person interviews and getting back into the somatic foundations. Not unlike the record and the push for somatic print materials and micropress and all of the wonderful talismanic art that we are creating from our hands to your doorsteps. I want that to have the same kind of journalistic integrity mired with PRAGMAGICK as well. So here's my chat with C.W. Chanter in New York City in early 2026. Haunt on. When I got to N.Y.C, you know, I thought of all the people I've known over the years that lived here, that might still live here. And, you know, I packed the mobile streaming unit, which is, you know, the laptop, my DSLR, and these new mics, in hopes that I could pony on getting some one-on-one chats and breaking out of the mold of the, you know, digital sphere and into the fourth dimension, or the third, I guess, but fourth within conversation. And as this guest said to me on the phone today when we confirmed that the third mind of the third sequence is at hand, this friend I've had now going on for 5 years maybe, kind of met when I launched more into the live streaming world, but has stayed a major voice in some kind of wide witchery, I should say, excuse me. I'm also in a lot of pain from the work that I've been doing out here, and this will be a nice reprieve because this guest is going to be super special, and it was very kismet that I got to, you know, grab him for some time tomorrow night. And if you've gotten this far in the video, I'm going to let you know who it is, and I'm not going to say it anywhere else. Throughout the day tomorrow, I'll talk with him and see if he'd like to promote it. A lot of me doesn't want to go through the live stream angle, largely because I don't want to be distracted with I don't want to be distracted with, you know, liminal stream or live stream. I call it liminal stream so much that it's now completely interchangeable. But I'm not a big fan of the distraction that it could create, especially when it's this person who has such a high caliber and such a frequency shifting spectrum of weirdos and witches. So we'll think about it. Maybe a part of it could be just to check in. It would be cool to, you know, for kind of a lighting the torch sort of thing of breaking away from the computer screen to do part of it live. But my big hope is just to touch base with somebody I've always, you know, really admired through, you know, his blunt and often jarring expositions into heavy and wonderful things. And that person is Mr. C.W. Chanter. Is going to be meeting me here tomorrow night. All things go according to plan, and we're going to do the first... I'm going to say we're going to have a chat. We're going to catch up. We're going to meet as friends in the, you know, somatic world. And whatever happens is going to be fun, I'm sure of it. But, you know, I also have a mind to make this the big PRAGMAGICK relaunch as I'm trying to push for more somatic interactions and in-camera conversations. So, hopefully I don't get wrecked any longer. I've been having horrible bouts of existential and somatic crises with this new gig. It has been fucking hard, and my body is not handling it well, but I'm gonna give my boss a firm, I gotta be somewhere tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, and that somewhere is down the street at the hotel you're paying for. So I could have an excuse to have a productive conversation with a friend of mine on the company's dime. No, but, you know, believe me, they're milking every penny out of me. All that said, I could go on for hours. There's so much to talk about. New York has been intense. It largely hasn't played a part in as a character in my story being in New York. I've been in the muck and the mire. I've been all through Manhattan, and I've you know, been just hard at work, and I've carved at it and crafted at it so usual, like almost kind of broke the spirit of it and made it into a kind of another categorical, asset to fucking another town, another city. And this job has kind of mined the wonder away. So no pressure on CW, but I'm counting on him to help me reinvigorate that Big Apple wonder, even though he's a Jersey guy, and I'm sure this is sacrilege. But hopefully you can hear me. I am not speaking at full volume, and that's by design. It is late. I need to go to sleep. Pray I don't sleep through my alarm, because I have not been catching more than 3 to 4 hours of sleep in the last few days. Waking up with Charlie horses in my legs. My back is forever, looming and lurking wound, as some of you may know from the past. And I'm doing everything in my power to prevent what I foresee could be a disaster of a situation if my back goes out here in New York City. So pray for me. All things go smoothly tomorrow. Me and CW Chanter will have just a wonderful sit down, back and forth, catch up, heart to heart, and we'll invite you to it, whether that's going to be, via a recorded video or through a live stream function. I'll leave it up to CW. I know he's a glutton for punishment, so he'll probably want to do a live stream, which I'm totally fine with. But I reserve the right to piecemeal it and craft it into something a little more timeless if it calls for that. Otherwise, I'm just really excited to meet a friend of mine that I haven't met in person, and hope we see you there with us. Other than that, I broke through the mold and discovered a whole new mastering and like kind of post-mixing situation for the album. I still don't know what I'm doing with it. I've missed that major deadline. Then it kind of snowballed into, well, now I have extra time to tinker, and it's almost kind of heartbreaking aging out of the surreal kind of wonderment that I held on to for so long for, birthing an album. And now it's just become like, how do I make this deserving of a release, of an exorcism, as I did through all the stress and like heartbreak and blood, sweat, and tears to do it. And like, why do I do that to myself? Why do any of us like put ourselves through such torment for, things that kind of are, farts in the wind when it comes to this attention economy shit. And, yeah, makes me just want to pull back and just get straight back into, maybe doing live music streams if I have to, selling cassette tapes. I don't know. I want to do something interesting with it. I think it deserves it. And it'll be my last will and testament, really, of Seattle and this, change in my life, this major change that's happening all around me, and that I'm a cause of and a part of. So we'll get there. We'll figure it out. Hopefully together. If you're invited to help me figure it out, I'd love your help, please. Otherwise, hope to see you all tomorrow. And yeah, wish me luck on my last big day of this bullshit job. And hopefully N.Y.C will leave on a much, much greater note. In any case, see you soon and haunt on. I lost my mouse. That was going to be so good. I feel like I biffed the haunt on so much. It's almost a thing now. But, oh yeah, and haunt on. Wait for it. Wait.
Cool. Yeah, that's how out of
that was meant to be.
Man, the whole rigmarole and
All that for nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Nice Patreon stream. There you go. Going out public line.
So like, I wanted to earlier. You get the nice little New York when there's no glare. There's some good city out there, but hey, not everyone can be a P.T. Anderson, and then no. Not that one, the other one.
P.T. Barnum?
Yeah, P.T. Barnum. I love, though, that there's two Paul Thomas Anderson directors and they couldn't be wildly more different than the other. Did you know that? The person that directed the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, no,
Event Horizon.
There you go, there you go.
Oh, that's right.
And I was getting also, is there any relation to them and the guy who did the Mortal Kombat movie?
That's him. Yeah.
That's him. That's what I thought. That's why I was getting confused, because when the other guy started working, I was like, and I always get them also confused with Wes Anderson.
Yeah, Wes Anderson. He's an easy one to confuse in there for sure.
There you go. I was wondering if you went legit.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a transition.
I was thinking of another one the other day too. There's it's Warren Ellis.
Okay.
The comic book writer and the member of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
The guy that does the scores with him.
Ah, yes.
From the Dirty Three.
The Dirty Three.
Yeah.
The Dirty Three is when I first discovered him. You know what I always remember about him? I always I covet his 4-string baritone electric guitar.
Yeah, or is it tenor now?
It's a tenor.
Yeah. They just made I think Squire did copies. I'm just gonna pour out.
Oh, okay, Squire. That's one I'll jump for.
Those are legit. I love.
Listen,
Squire's the shit.
I always go with Squire. I covered their reissue of the short scale Mustang bass is on my want list. Though I've made myself a solemn promise to liquidate instruments, not acquire new instruments, because I have too much and I am kicking myself. People should know that this is through no one's fault. I hope you blameless.
Okay.
This is a spontaneous get together.
Mm-hmm.
It took a miracle to get two people like me and Keats into PRAGMAGICK into the same room.
Yeah, we had the same kind of goof juice at the same synchronous moment last night when we agreed upon it. Yeah, you actually, that was, I didn't think that it would just, materialize that quickly. It was cool, because I was walking down the street and it just came to me like, oh, we can do this. And now, I should say that one of the main, rubs of my life right now is that I overestimate my, like my stamina or my like energy or ability, because I like really get into the weeds of the things I want to do. I'm like, oh, I would love to do that. I get excited to do that. Day comes and it's just, I'm in a whole different, method.
And believe you me, I've been put on a short leash by my higher powers, so that don't worry, because you are in. I know that you're overextended. We're at the end of your work day and your intense work week. I've been put on control because I've commute back to the old dirty suburbs of Jersey. So we're here to have a good time, but we're not here to have too long a time. So we will be controlled.
Leave them wanting more.
So we're doing double duty. We're both getting together as good old friends who haven't seen each other in the flesh.
Yeah,
so we're enjoying this flesh to flesh conversation. But we thought to help and aid the community, we would also give you the benefit of seeing this rare coming together. The theme was the third mind comes together. In the third space.
The third space. That's right? What it was.
So where the two of you come together, so too shall I be. We're taking that from the Bible and we're extending it out to the universal, to everybody, the grand spirit.
I love it.
May Uncle Bill be with us here today as well.
Amen.
Saint of the cut up that we both hold as a primary spiritual touchstone.
A technology device, yeah.
Absolutely. Make of it what you will. We let our freak flags fly. Mock us, if you will. Those unbelievers. We are true believers in the flesh.
Yes, sir.
And we are here not far from the wise old wizard's stomping grounds.
Yeah, what was it? Was it Greenwich?
Oh, he's all over this place.
Yeah.
There is no spot of this Manhattan Island that is not owned.
That is not Old Bullies.
Right.
I'm trying to get to the chat.
The Chelsea Hotel to the bunker. From the publishing houses to the tombs.
Yeah.
Where he unfortunately had to spend many nights as a guest of the old guard.
He was such old money too that there's like such a magnanimous energy that he was trailing like a mugwump all the way through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here and there and beyond, upstairs and downstairs. And let's not forget, there is some documented credible evidence of journeys to Mars. Signed stones, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, was it and then the Toynbee? Remember that?
I can't remember. Our old brains are getting bigger by the minute. We had some time before the journey online, enjoying watching ourselves go. Well, that gray matter is lost. Yep, we're getting older there and then too.
Yeah, I think it was a weird bittersweet feeling, but I did feel a guff after I was supposed to put an album out on the 18th, the new moon, and I just had one of those like automatic needs to. Oh, I'm just gonna double check everything, and it turned into a 13-hour. Just like pulling my hair out. No, this is wrong. That missed that deadline. Then it was like, okay, I'll put it out the net, and it just like kept going, and it's still going. And I just realized that whole like thing that was like really keeping me going, like kind of snapped a little oddly for the first time. Where it was, I kind of understood the rigmarole, the stress, like the heartache, all that shit, for something that's so like of my volition, Yeah. And it was one of those things I think could only be afforded by age. And there you go. Hoop.
It happens. You know what I mean? Every old dog has its day. You have your day to have that experience. Yeah.
It's, the reason why I was saying that's because when I'm just logging a lot of these, this trip, it could have been amassed and like, I'm going to go see this, go see that, go do this. It's been really like a catalog of feelings, emotions, of like, revelations of walking down the street and, remembering that my grandma Marty, Jewish grandmother who passed away last year, her headstone unveiling is tomorrow.
Oh.
And I'm going to be leaving from JFK, and she grew up in Brooklyn, so I'm going to stop, by her stomping grounds and but just kismet, to use the word. Yeah. That sort of synchronicity, sort of a lot less fanfare, but soothing in a different way, And when I saw you coming off the elevator, I had a synapse for a moment of what a novel, only in our age, that to feel you know someone well, have seen what they look like, you know what I mean? You're familiar with who they are, and yet had no true sensory or a somatic idea, That's only afforded to us. It's crazy.
It's one of these things of this. It's definitely an experience of this age, where, for example, when I was on my way in here, my family were saying basically the usual things that you would ask someone when they say to you, "I'm going into the city. I'm going to a hotel to see somebody." Who? Don't worry, they're cool. How do you know they're cool? This is somebody I know.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh, it's somebody I know from online. Don't worry, they're one of the good ones. Don't worry, I know them from back in the day. But that's exactly what you said about schmuckle-doodle.
Yeah.
That turned out to say, you know what I mean? You wanted to do.
That's
to their stones and.
Yeah, that's the exact retort. Yeah, in Minecraft. Yeah.
But no. This one's good. I swear. But then you see someone and you're known to somebody on so many fundamental levels. You've checked all these things, but you've checked them out of order.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And it's weird because we were talking about having all these modern experiences. We were talking about going on and doing things like YouTube, Patreon, and we're talking about things like cost-benefit analyses and how it seems as though these metrics change and evaluations change every day.
It must be maddening to be wrapped up. I could never imagine someone whose life is Google is your employer, and the whim at which they change is insane.
Every day I'm looking and I'm seeing channels post things like, look, we were doing X, Y, and Z for channels completely out of the realm of what you and I experiment with, and people that do things like retro video games and stuff, and they'll be like, look, YouTube were giving us these sort of recommendations. Our viewership in 2024 was 50% of what it was in 2023. It's 50% of what it's looking like in 2025. What are we doing here? We can't. You're going to see us go from the enthusiast phase to the hobby phase. We're sorry about that, but what can we do?
I always wondered about that because I guess I'm always up against that because there is the rub of, I'm not tied to it financially, so that freedom is always I do it when I can. Right. I'm motivated to do it, passionate to do, and doing it. I love the process. But what is that for somebody, who has to rely on that? Okay, so it's kind of parallel to this email I got today. And there's this new thing, I don't know if you've been approached, podcast agents.
Oh, yeah.
And this is something I've not really been privy to, and I just kind of opened up to the guy who was, he was doing his pitch. Hey, we'd love to get you more listeners, blah, blah, blah. We have some people that would really bring, the whole... It's a movie agent.
It's a spiel.
Yeah, trying to sell their actors. And I just in that moment, I just was like, hey, forgive me for a second, but I'm going to just run down this arithmetic with you. What is the ultimate quid pro quo here? I know you're after something. what are you getting out of it? You just have a Rolodex of people paying you to promote themselves through their, but you're reaching out to random podcasts, and these podcasts then don't have a genuine connection to these things and aren't talking to people they know and are inspired by. So they're in a kind of a rack, you know what I mean? It's another cylindrical, like, capitalistic kind of,
Right.
tumble. And it was just like, it threw me for a loop of like, what a nightmare I need content this week. Do you have someone I can talk to? You know?
Look, at the end of the day, you're asking basically, what is it exactly you'd say you do?
Yeah.
It's like a nightmare for marketing, because it's like fucking networking and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So don't add. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, just drink the wine.
Yeah.
The wine. Let's just keep the party going.
And I did. Like, we had a good talk, and he sent me. I was like, I do have people on my list. Maybe I was like looking back, I was pretty naive, but because I assumed he knew of me or knew what the podcast was, or what. Obviously he doesn't. Probably saw something, some SEO thing. But he had a nice back and forth, and I just approached it with genuine curiosity, like,
general curiosity.
yeah, what's the fucking arithmetic here, man? Like, what are you getting out of it? What are they getting out of it? And like, what is the person? Because I saw on their sheets the guests that he proposed, right? They all had hyperlinks. You go to hyperlinks. It's like this one-page resume, and then there's scripts. What host says on air about their biography and shit. And I'm like, who does this? Like, who would go through the podcast rigmarole at all? One, not having some sort of passion for their, interests or their, like, what they're doing, or it's just, yeah.
You're talking like one of those artists that's scared of making money.
I mean, yeah, probably. Like, I'm not.
What kind of musician would play a song they don't really believe in?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I guess, like, when you break it down like that, it does make you feel.
Female artist would shake her canky booty on stage.
You know what? Fuck it. Like, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the deal, though. I just, like, I couldn't.
Wait. What kind of heterosexual African American sports star would allegedly have sex
In Minecraft?
in Minecraft with T. Diddy for a rap contract?
I don't know.
I don't know. But the fact that you ask those questions means, you know what? You are one of the good ones.
I feel like you're about to punch me in the gut or something.
No, the opposite. The opposite about the compliment.
You're like, get closer.
No.
Yeah.
Get the shot. Let's
fix this.
Yeah,
I'm trying to. But no, I mean, and like.
I also want to make sure that, knowing me and knowing you, I also wanted to make sure that we were actually live.
Yes. That's fair. That's super fair.
Should I also should I tweet it? I'm not even on Twitter. Should I send out should I like go to your channel and like be like, hey, look, I'm on this guy's channel?
Whatever you're comfortable with, man.
I'm not comfortable with anything.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
becoming increasingly comfortable as time goes on.
Yeah. I mean,
Minecraft, I'm really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm happy as a clown.
But you kind of brought, like, it's as vanilla as that crux is. It's like, I'm not afraid of making money, but yeah, I am kind of afraid of. I've always been a little it's pretentious at points. There is times in my life where I turn down things, or if I got my head out of my ass, it would have been more beneficial to have accepted such offers instead of, you know what I mean? I don't know. As you get older too, you're like, man, I don't know. It comes up a lot with the new album, and it always comes up with anything you create, something new, and it's like, we really doing this for like the 50th time? Am I really gonna find out that like it's gonna die in obscurity like the rest of them? We're gonna go through this again.
Yes, die in obscurity like the rest of them. But
you really want to play this game again, pal?
Yes.
It's like, yeah.
What are you gonna do? It's either play the game or not play the game.
I have to do it.
You
Yeah.
release the record, you don't release the record.
Yeah, or it's already released. You
There
know?
you go. I'm not going to listen to it.
Yeah,
You know my
I know. Yeah, no. Your position is 100% of the position of everybody else.
No, but listen, I'm going to listen to it. Well, chances are I'm going to listen to it just eventually. Just not right now. I got things to do. No, but I'll listen to it, probably. Theoretically.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll
listen to it, I'm going to go. But why?
Yeah, why'd you do this?
What do we do this for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would be depressed and we'd be like, this happened.
It's the age-old thing, though, and it's also, when you put it in the sense of, like, my work week this week, do I really want to be spending my days, like, breaking my body and time and all of that and for like the few hours of awaking, like, phantasmagoria that I get, and it's like, yeah, every time.
Might as well.
Yeah, because, like, unless someone's gonna be like, all right, he's been doing this for 20 years, we trust him, let's give him money every month, like, patrons do, or that, because that's how I look at it. It's like, thank you for trusting me to do something creatively, or like to keep creating, right? You give me like it's like, I trust you, you're going to do this.
I got to tell you something, it's so sad, because I got to tell you, the thing with Patreon is this, is that
Oh, yeah.
there's no like rhyme or reason to the Patreon, because you kick your ass with the Patreon. Every time I see one of your published writings on Patreon, I look at it, and I feel so depressed.
Why?
Because you put so much into it, and I'll read it, and I'll be like, this is high quality stuff.
Oh, I appreciate that, but I don't put a lot into it.
Stop.
I just do a lot of it.
Stop it. It's high quality stuff.
It might.
Shit.
Hey,
Hey.
I might be humble bragging by saying it might be
Stop.
high quality stuff. I don't work on it that way.
And I'll read it. I'll read it. I'll be like, he doesn't even, it's not AI. You can read it. You can listen. You can tell it's not AI.
Thank
And
you.
I'll be like, oh my God. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, I'll read it. I'll be like, I want like the 3 people that's going to read one of these things. You know?
It's true.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And as you write as a
tape in the
patron.
mail.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, look at this thing. It's like a tape. And it's like, it's got a little thing. It's got like inserts and it's like a sticker.
Mm-hmm.
I go, all this stuff. And then I'll be like, and I'll look at my Patreon, I'll look at some other douchebag Patreon, I'll be like, we get the exact same amount of money this guy does, or more, and then we don't do anything. And it's like, and we all know that 90% of the Patreon money he gets is the same Patreon support that we get for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
Someone signed up for his Patreon, absolutely totally fucking forgot they signed up to his Patreon, and it's still giving him monetary support every month for not knowing that the Patreon money that they signed up to is going to this guy as well as fucking,
Put those email.
This guy's on the Patreon bill as well.
Put the email notifications on mute.
Yeah.
Much to their chagrin.
That Patreon knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Sign
That's
up
it.
and forget.
Yeah, we got to think about that too. We always talk about that. Like,
every time I put like post on Patreon, the net result and effect is I lose Patreon support, because all it ends up doing
is reminding
people. They get an email, be like, oh shit, that's right. I gotta
fucking
cancel my Patreon.
dark.
It is.
Holy shit.
It's the dark forest. It's the dark forest. It's the Chung-Yung-Zing leaf of, you know what I mean, 3-body problem.
It's
the less noise I make on Patreon.
Yeah, you're right. It's like, strategies to disappear.
I don't do anything on Patreon.
That's
anymore.
Yeah, it's smart. Or maybe, and like adversely on the other side, I do so much that it's
just telling people
that well, it's not so much, and that's what I mean by like I don't. It's not. I would be doing it anyways.
You would be doing it.
Yeah.
The other good thing though for you though is that no one checks their emails anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Emails like basically the ISDN connection or like the IRC chat of like today.
You'd be surprised though, like there is like an upswing in intentional signups for newsletter type stuff though. And that's been
people
cool.
Think they're hip. That's the nostalgia loop getting. Now going like email marketing.
Emails are cool.
Because now it's email marketing is the new thing. Because people are like, oh, people are leaving X, and not enough people are signing up for Blue Sky. So like sign up for my email newsletter.
MailChimp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's been the whole thing. You're right, hey, but we the Holics kind of, accidentally. We started a newsletter thing with the somatic stuff. It's just like a way to, have like an intentional. You don't have to come to the site and read the articles here. We'll just send you what's been going on. You can ignore this. Yeah, throw this away. Yeah. Hey, you throw this away.
Now we're filling up your Google box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How the fuck do I have this many gigs on Google?
God, you really fucking got me there with the that idea of like or just like it's when you post and it reminds people to cancel their subscription. Like
subscribe from you.
Yeah. Like that's like a recursive. It's just like such a I don't know. That's thrown me for like such a weird schism of.
Well, don't because always remember.
Oh, and it's okay if people cancel their Patreon. You know what I mean? That's fine. I just that. I think it's just the overall.
No one's gonna cancel for you generally because you're a nice guy. When people cancel to me, it's because generally they realize, like, oh, geez, like, you know, most of the people that probably signed up for me, a lot of them were, like, hate watchers, or, like, because I'm not doing the stuff that they signed up for me in the first place, they're like, oh, this guy, we're not interested anymore, so forget him.
Oh, that's fair. I have a fair share of those, too. Just like, hey, you're supposed to be doing this all the time. Like, right. Where's PRAGMAGICK? What's up with all this other bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. But, like, yeah, you do have the faction of... and much like probably to your credit though, like you're getting their money, you know, they're hate subscribing.
But you know, also the thing with me is also it's the Pareto distribution. You know, 90% of the work is done by 10% of the population.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Patreon, I know that the majority of my Patreon is literally probably 5 people that I know by name. So I always tell people, like, whenever things happen, like, whenever I'm not online for a given period of time, I'll get contacted by people, and they'll say, oh, you know, we're concerned about you, worried about you, and I always tell them, I go, don't worry, if I ever left YouTube, you would still know about me. And I know, I go, because I tell people, I go, my 5 biggest Patreon supporters, I have on my cell phone.
Yeah.
They're all known to me.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
I was thinking about that the other day, like, you send me a compliment in some way, like you ended up being my buddy, and you know, in a week, it happens. I don't know. That's just such an easy in. It's like, hey, thanks for caring. What do you do? And then it's snowballs into, oh, okay, you're bringing the casserole.
That's
you're bringing the casserole to the cuck party, or what?
Yeah, it's just the point where I just told people, I go, look, it takes a lot. I said, unfortunately, I think the inner circle, door has been closed. I think we reached
we're at max
Council of 9.
We're at max cap.
We're at max cap on the Council of 9. I said, but still, hang around, join the Patreon, join that dollar. You'll get in there. You know what I mean? You'll get an email. I send me enough emails, I will reply. The reply might be like, stop emailing me. I don't know. I can't tell you any personal advice. It's getting too close. It's getting too intimate. You're getting weird.
Yeah,
But I'll write you back and be like, listen, I'm sorry because it was getting weird.
With your
I appreciate your support.
Your streams lately, though, like I feel like you've hit a good stride with the I mean, I've often told you that the stuff that I always enjoyed from you, I never gave a shit really about the alien TMZ stuff that, other folks have just driven to death and it's got so hackneyed and crazy. But you had the Commonwealth stuff and, your cut up work. And now it seems like you've hit a good, it's almost like a Cafe Wa in 1963 or something. I'm like watching someone have a monologue with a cut up in there, and it's like this really entertaining, back and forth. It's like, I don't know. There's an art form to live streaming, and not that people don't understand that, but people don't understand that,
People don't understand a lot of things. I mean, I think, for me, all that's happened over time was when things have gotten the best is when I've relaxed and stopped playing the algorithm game, stopped worrying about if anything sort of happened with YouTube, and just let things be. Mm-hmm. And stopped fighting people and realized and accepted that the main channel is, CW Chanter the main channel, CW Chanter the main channel, and I can say and encourage anything I want to about people migrate over to this channel. No, I can't make that happen. For whatever reason, people come to the main channel if that's where they came to. And there are certain people that will only come to the secondary channel.
But I think the main channel though is the one that's like transcended, because like they might have been brought in for a certain subject, but I think that's like the oeuvre of that's your
it has a certain vibe and has a certain energy, and for whatever reason it's the one that, like I said, I've learned to not say and let go of, I've told you to go to these other channels, and I've learned to not react to people who come and say, "Oh, I missed you. Where have you been?" I no longer worry about saying I was streaming 2 times this week on other channels.
If you check your email,
I'll back and just say, you're here now or whatever. And I've learned to accept the beauty of, this is a person who remembers me from 10 years ago and still has me in their subscription list. And for whatever reason, their experience on YouTube is such that either they don't watch enough of different things, or they don't watch enough of other things, or they watch still enough of my old stuff that this new thing has gotten to them. And they're here for the live stream, or they're here for this, or they rewatched or whatever, and the views are still there. And it's weird, and there's always something new that happens with the technology. There's always something new that's happening with the algorithm and the recommendations that are coming to you, and how you're experiencing YouTube, how you're experiencing the thing, and how and it's all confusing. You don't know if what you're experiencing is objectively what's happening, or you're just experiencing what your subjective sense of things are.
I think
you breathe in, you breathe out, and you try and figure it out.
When it became like with like the formats too of like edits, where it pierced that kind of dimension, where it wasn't so much like hackneyed topics. It then became like an aesthetic, or like certain things that even transcended aestheticism and got into like actually hard cut, like sequencing, like brain, visual kind of rhythms, and
TV.
Yeah.
I remember when YouTube was old school. YouTube was the best YouTube. When I was really into YouTube was when YouTube was either one of 2 things. It was either basically what seemed to be people's home video content uploaded, band videos, home video style content uploaded raw. Altar services, worship services, band performances, people backyard wrestling or whatever, video content uploaded onto the video computer.
You can still find my Microsoft movie editor, Dakotas of me shooting guns in the desert as a kid, like thing that I put together on a computer. It's still there, and
it was either that cinema verite or people talking to a video camera about this, some sort of documentary style presentation of someone making declarative statements about a subject. Or an interview.
Talking head,
talking head. And that to me was YouTube. And over time, the only constant is change. And then it became more and more edited and fast edited content. We got the evolution of, like you said, basically it's TV on the computer. And now we have the evolution of where YouTube is chasing TikTok's tail and wanting to be all this short form content.
Which I just saw. It's funny, I still get up in arms about that. I saw like a podcast in the realm of what we talk about, but it was like a TikTok, which I always understood you know, if you're grabbing a highlight from a 3-hour podcast, like, you know, it would be worth grabbing. And the highlight was literally just the guest complimenting the host. The entire YouTube short was, you know, wow, you're so good. And the host just sits there in silence, like, yes, thank you. That's like the entire, like, what was I here for? Who are these people? What the fuck is happening? Yeah.
I mean,
who are these people? Why is he so good?
Well, you know, that's like what they did. They recently did a new YouTube change to try to demonetize and get rid of all the AI.
Because that's what it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it is just, if you look at the short form content, if what people would do is if you're just looking for hits and clicks, well, it's a lot of it's just an algorithm game. Like, just throw X amount of junk on to the site, and especially if it's got something like a pretty face or a title, you're gonna get X amount of hits, or it's gonna come up algorithmically in people's feeds X amount of times. If you're looking for things like you know, just follow through traffic, or, you know, how many times it's viewed, regardless of how many times it's liked. There's gonna be a cost benefit analysis that makes sense for somebody somewhere for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember YouTube Poop, where people were just putting up intentionally nonsensical stuff for surreal reasons.
That was great.
Nonsensical reasons.
Yeah, surreality is that was my favorite.
It's
just weird.
It's surreal. It's one thing if it's something that's just like vacuous content, where it's just like some airhead complimented some airhead for no reason.
Right. It's the facsimile of the facsimile, where it's like every time you photocopy this, it loses another hue of the meaning, you know, or like the black gets blacker because it's taking out all of the microtones, and it's just it's interesting. I don't know. You seem to be, the reason why I bring that up, you seem to be like just in a good stride with it, and that peaceful kind of.
Well, because what I eventually learned dealing with all the things like the David Wilcox and the Corey Goods and all that stuff in the world, exactly, is that you can't fight crazy.
Yeah.
And whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's also the reason why I don't let myself get crazy about what's happening with the world politically. And it's not that I'm apathetic to what's happening in the world politically. It's not that I don't care about the false incarceration of people. It's not that I don't care about the loss of liberties. It's not that I don't care, or I don't think that it's important that people's civil rights are under threat or duress. It's just that I know that there's only so much that cortisol running and coursing through my system is going to do to improve the situation.
Yeah.
So I urge people to, you know, live their lives in the moment and know that there's things that they can do with their physical body, their physical space, that can help and improve their actual life situation of people in their immediate space. And there are things that really have no value, like screaming at other people on the internet, getting upset about other people on the internet, or getting upset about things and just grieving out loud, or getting aggravated about things out loud.
Yeah, that was a boot camp, like through the COVID, and like just so many dramas. But like the biggest thing I've just come to, and it sounds like a kind of a loss of you know, kind of wonder or whatever, but it isn't, because like just the maxim of, you know, I don't trust anyone on the internet.
On the internet. Well, on the internet there's no real.
I mean, like that's such an absolute kind of thing, but I just mean like as a guiding force. It's like, hey, remember, even like, of course, this, you know, what's happening in Gaza has incensed me, and I feel a vitriolic, you know, rhythm come up in me. Like, how is that casted? You know, where, I just don't trust. I trust my response to be correct on what that's happening. I don't trust in engaging with the thing that put that thing. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It makes it sound like I'm being flippant about that stuff.
I don't think it sounds like you're flippant. I think it sounds like you're talking about saying. You talk about engaging in something that's very complex, where what you can experience about it, you can only experience basically like tell it daltonically. You can only experience it through
Yes.
media apparatus.
Yes, yeah.
You can only receive through a massage-mediated image. People are going to report to you and tell you what is happening. They'll tell you that you're being lied to by other people.
Yeah.
As other people are telling you you're being lied to by other people.
There's daggers behind everybody's backs.
Daggers behind everybody's back.
Yeah.
And what we can say is you can identify that it's a known that there are innocent people who are suffering.
Yes, exactly. Like, yeah, and that's what you were saying earlier. My want to not engage is not my want to not engage with the macro. With what's happening outside of this tit for tat. It's literally of this channel that is, trying to fish me into something. And I wonder about that, like just mining. Because if it is an attention economy, and then it's like any attention's good attention, then yeah, just the free basing of fucking rage,
Absolutely.
and yeah, it does feel like things are funneled in a certain way to I don't know, to feed other things. Not, it sounds like I'm getting conspiratorial or something, but that's just what it is. These are big media apparatus that know, this is how we can stay afloat, is through this attention economy.
It goes to the problem with the internet apparatus, which I think is the solution, is that people have got to leave this virtual fantasy. When the internet came about and was sold to us, it was originally one thing. And then it became corporatized.
Yep.
And the corporatized internet that we're experiencing today is not delivered on the initial promise of the free internet that we were first experiencing in the early to mid 90s.
Yeah. And there it was poisoned.
It was poisoned. And so this introsphere that we're experiencing with the Facebooks and YouTubes and the Amazon corporate consumer infrastructure,
digital ghettos and slumlords,
digital ghettos and stuff, is what we have to leave, because it's turning people into these introvert shut-ins who can't interact with people of 1,003. It's a sad old story that we've been saying for decades now. People have got to get into the real spaces. I really do believe that part of the reason that people are so able to adopt these worldviews of believing that this reality that we live in is somehow plausibly a simulated reality is because we're so fixated on living our lives through the simulated reality of the computer.
Yeah, if you are what you eat,
then we're nowhere near experiencing, anywhere near experiencing, or having experienced a simulated reality as real as this reality. And yet we're constantly being told, because we can't experience these simulated realities that are so real, then we have to ask ourselves, of all the simulated realities that are possible, what's the likelihood that we live in the real one? We haven't experienced a simulated reality anywhere near as robust or as real as the real world we live in. So I have no idea why Neil deGrasse Tyson is constantly going around saying that there's anything to the simulated reality thesis. And besides, what is the actual probabilistic effect that we're living in the actual first world than any other world that's billions and billions and billions of ones? It's the exact same probability that we live in the first one than any other one.
To me, I always took it like Neil deGrasse Tyson and all that, like the kind of misnomer game, or it's cool vernacular because of like the really like tired and true, obvious, metaphorical, kind of, because God's a programmer, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to it. The Neil deGrasse Tyson has backed so many funky plays. It's not. If you think about it, the probability that we live on the first reality world than we live on any other one of them is exactly the same. It's exactly the same probability. It's only
50-50.
our common sense notion of it that
we either do or we don't.
Oh, what's the chance? Oh, the notion is blah, blah, blah. It's just mental math games that they play.
Yeah.
It's just mental math games that they play that turns it into something stranger.
Yeah,
and
for
we've
sure.
never seen a computer simulated reality anywhere near robust. So what's the likelihood that we have no ability to
we can't fathom?
So what's the likelihood that we've never seen a Dyson sphere? We've never seen a star that's been surrounded by a Dyson sphere. And if there's no other intelligent life out there, maybe only one intelligent. We have no idea if on day 300 and blah 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 of reality, gravity all of a sudden reverses. There's nothing. The unknowns are limitless.
I remember, like, as a kid, when those like vectors of like mental formations of like, what is a ghost, like what is an alien, like I remember like when those things started, you know, like really just came crumbling down of like no one's like everyone that's purported to see one or whatever, I guess you could derive something from that, but that's not what they're talking about. It's like someone's egregore that got caught, and like now everybody, oh, that's what that is, that's what that is, that's what that is, and it gets channeled, and then it's created, you know, and then it's like psychically imprinted, and now we have it in our consciousness all the time, and it's just so funny to me when it's, you know, it's menial as something as like, did you ever stop to think that why would aliens have arms and legs? You know, why would aliens have like a mouth and, you know?
Or, you know, and like I said about you know why I stopped fighting crazy is because people are people, and it's just that, you know, people are pattern seeking, you know evolved primates, and they come up with these ideas, and you can't dissuade them from it. And we were talking about, like, you know, when I started doing this, I pointed out the fact that, hey, the big bads of the alien world used to be the Greys. It was all the Greys. The Greys affected everybody.
The Whitleys.
They fell in fashion, and it was the Dracos. The Dracos are in charge of the Greys. I was like, what happened?
The Nordics.
Yeah. In the animal kingdom, the sharks are the sharks of the sharks. They're the sharks. And all of a sudden, the sharks disappear, and all of a sudden,
we've discovered, new
sharks.
Yeah.
Wait. It's the Greys, the Greys. The Greys are the ones doing things, and the Greys don't disappear.
Well, I guess,
replaced by the Draco.
And that's how it's because they're like, we can't fathom how finite. Like, who knows? There's bigger fucking Greys out there, you know.
The Dracos is going to get replaced by the Anunnaki.
I almost said something really stupid. I'm so glad. I had to bring it up because it was really funny in the context. If it kept going, it's like, I should move on. But it was, you know.
But he's not going to.
No, I've totally caught myself in a loop. Help me out here. Get me out of this. Get me out of here. Dig me out.
But why? What are you doing so much? You're suffering so much.
I'm suffering so bad. Okay, so we were talking about, you know, it's like now it's the Greys, blah, blah, it's the blacks. And it was just going on.
In Minecraft,
yeah. So it was a bad joke. It was bringing us back to humanness, the human goof juice. That was really bad.
The artificial. So remember when the about 3 or 4 years ago, everything was artificial intelligence was so terrible.
I mean, it still sucks.
Right. Well, no. You're still on the same page when it comes to artificial intelligence.
I'm not.
But in the conspiracy ufology world, they had a complete 180-degree turn.
What do you mean?
They embraced all of this ChatGPT.
Are you talking about the confluence with like the mysticism side of it, and like
about all if you go these the Carrie Cassidys and all these people in that sort of world.
Yeah.
99.9% of them have full on adopted chat. They all use ChatGPT.
Of course they do. That's the exact type of people that would.
So the artificial intelligence was the worst thing ever. Was coming from the dark side of the moon.
The people. You're telling me that the people that made their career stealing their stories from other things, really love ChatGPT.
Oh my God! The guy that. So first of all, the guy that I forget who's the guy who just passed away. Is that James Rink just passed away? Before James Rink passed away, he was having the time of his life making up all these movies and all these videos of using the Sora, all that artificial intelligence video generator stuff. Putting him and all his friends into these like Buck Rogers type of. He was like putting like.
So he died happy, like made real.
Well, I'll tell you what the other thing is that there was a big controversy because he was doing a conference, and I believe that the guy that he had a problem with is this guy that does the Total Skeptic podcast 2.0, a guy by the name of Cavelli or something. I forget his last name.
I don't know.
His first name. But what's funny is that, James Rick had a problem with this guy, I believe, for stealing his conference. But then everybody who wanted to pay tribute to James Rink ended up going to that guy's YouTube channel to pay their tribute. But that guy uses all the artificial intelligence stuff too to make his little intro videos and outro.
Oh,
videos.
sure, yeah.
All the little space soldiers, And James Rink was the best. He would do like if he was interviewing you or me, he would like put our heads on like, battle suit command, the Scientology, like, Air Force One.
Oh, what's their name did that too? The girls, they were funny. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
So they would all like embrace that stuff. And I remember like just a couple years ago, it was like artificial intelligence was like the worst thing ever. But apparently not.
Oh, from them, they were okay.
Not until it enabled them to make themselves look like fantastic heroes.
I think that's like just the darkest, most ridiculous thing made so obvious and true. It's like there's no need for metaphor. That's like literally the rub with that stuff, like the misuse of it, the uncaring idea of like where it's sourced, blah blah blah. The people that really champion it are proven like plagiarizers and liars themselves, or tech bros, and just wanting accolades, wanting more titles than, now there's prompt engineers and.
But also what it goes to show me is that when there is that little self-consciousness in a community, that they can go from as a culture. Now, granted, this culture probably consists of, at its core, probably a one-to-one, probably gatekeeper to victim, probably 500 people at its core max grouping of people playing mental mind games with each other, all of whom are neurodivergent out the wazoo. Multiple
calculations on calculations.
Multiple, diagnoses, you know what I mean? Not that I'm a professional, just, observations here. What are you going to do? Yeah. It's just, there's no point in debating about this stuff. There's no point in getting upset with them. Yeah. There's no point in trying to figure out that, that any sort of water's going to seek its level, and no hope that these guys are going to be anything other than more than useful idiots for people who want to engage in things like social media manipulation.
And I think that was the thing too that I came through with AI, just as a overall kind of generality, was that of course, like unartistic companies are going to be using it in their art departments, you know what I mean? Or like, of course, like it's going to be used to fill the same vapid, source of media and all that other shit. Like it's not that big of a leap from what was, they were barely creating to begin with to what they'll be able to do faster now. And so it's never like, I was never threatened by it by any means in that sense. Or like, I do see how fellow tradesmen, like artists and whatnot, like, I do get it that like it's already a really fucking hard market, and then now it's just gotten harder. But at the same time, like I do also understand like the democratization of, beat making in the 1990s, and you know what I mean? And sample culture, and it always comes down to how you do it, what's your what's your sourcing, like what you're citing, and you do have to have, I think though, an ethos with it. It's not something you can just like flippantly, or like casually like interplay in your stuff. I've seen artists that don't mention that they're using it, or like I've seen them just not cite that it's part of their process. And to me, I think that's just dishonest. I think it's weird because it seems like you're trying to get away with something that is not that crazy. It'd be like someone doing a MIDI saxophone line, being like, hey, just really nailed that sax solo. It's
Right.
like, who cares? You know, it's not that big of a deal. But at the same time, there is like a constitutional kind of through line. And that's probably why it's funny. I keep coming back to this. I think it all comes back to like, even AI could be part of this conversation. I don't think I can separate the art and the artist. I've been thinking about this a lot, probably my whole life, but I don't think I can. I don't think, maybe other people can, maybe other people have systems and like abilities to. I don't think it's possible, honestly, and I don't think, I think it's a kind of, I don't know, it's a schemy kind of fallacy to think so. Because it's often utilized as a means to justify other things or blah, blah, blah. But it's like that, and, why I piggybacked off AI with that, because I keep thinking of these, like, macro idioms. They're like all these little minutia kind of issues. AI, the artistic process, not... What'd you say? Allergic to money? No, what was it you were saying?
One of those artists that's allergic to making.
Yeah, allergic to making money, right? And that's kind of part of it. And it's probably, that also falls under, I can't separate the art from the artist, because if I wanted to make money, I wouldn't be who I was.
So as an artist, I were to affix a thumbtack to the top of the ceiling. Find a piece of string in the garbage, a specific piece of string selected for its specific aesthetic properties.
I love this story already.
That I didn't have anything to do with constructing or making. The aesthetic properties were born of it.
But it's how you put it together. Yeah.
I simply hang it from the thumbtack, and it hangs.
How'd you get up there?
Put it up there.
You just put it up there.
Put it up there.
Okay, so it's not.
And it hangs. The string hangs, and from the string I attach this.
So wait. So let's go back. So where did you find the plastic?
The plastic's right here.
Where did you find the string?
On the street.
This isn't a good story.
It's an installation. And I put it here. And it's an art piece I call Plastic Hanging from String.
Sure.
It's a legitimate art piece.
I'm not here to debate the legitimacy of art or not. I think it's trash. I think it's bullshit. And I think it's even more. Yeah, but that's my opinion about it. It's not. I'm not here to be the dictator of what is art and what's not. I think that's a deeply philosophical question. My thing is, when somebody's trying to say, when they're trying to separate themselves.
Because many of the people that talk about AI art and the problems with it, themselves wouldn't classify as artists, because they do things with the amount of computer work that they do with their art. Wouldn't classify as artists. There's a movement. There's a singer-songwriter out of England, but he's part of this anti-experimental avant-garde artist. He doesn't think that people that do things like performance art are artists.
Sure, yeah.
Right. But then again, he's the type of scumbag shithead motherfucker who doesn't think that William S. Burroughs is a writer.
There's always those guys, yeah.
So, I don't really give a fuck about people like him who thinks that only people who paint are painters.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
If you hang a piece of plastic from a string on a thumbtack and call it art, I mean, I can look at that thing and appreciate its aesthetics.
I was going to say my initial reaction to it, my deep intonation with it before I knew its surroundings and beginnings is an alien thing only for me, right? And then but at the same time, when this ongoing debate, is it art? It's yeah, sure. I still loosely say it's AI art. We all call it AI art.
So when does the artist have an obligation to disclose that a ready-made was part of the process, or there was a sort of collaboration, or that they had a piece of text was lifted and put into this work, or randomized dice tables.
That's a good
generate part of the story. There are things that
it's a great debate.
I posted to Instagram, and the Instagram or the YouTube channel will say, there's a list that says you need to disclose that AI.
It's a button.
In this.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, Well, at what point does the use of AI become so abstracted in the process that my obligation to disclose,
and you're not even able to say what it is exactly,
like,
or qualify it?
If you look at the Amazon thing where it says when it wants to disclose that AI or things like Drive-Thru RPG where they want to put in these blanket bans to say no AI content, and like I said, a lot of the people that I see debate these points about AI content, from authors to visual artists, either are coming from a space where they just really don't understand the technology. They don't understand that the use of AI in large language models, when it comes to the absorption of being quote unquote trained on text, is not analogous to sampling, like when Kennedy samples a Miles Davis.
Right, because it's more of a crapshoot. It's more intentional to sample. That's why that's more of the art.
But it's just they're not actually regurgitating the sentences of the prior work.
Sure, yeah, it's not a cut up of the beyond.
It's like, are you going to say that a student that read work in college,
there's microtonal fragments in there.
Say all of a sudden every time that they do something with their postgraduate, that, oh, by the way, I studied Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. Props to Walt Whitman.
I see. That's the thing, though. Like, this is going to be an ongoing debate, and if we're going to have to figure out those levels, because
it's actually not going to be an ongoing debate, and I'll tell you why. We're not going to be here for about another, probably, I don't know how long humans have on this planet, bro.
You mean, like, are we talking decades or even sooner?
I hope we have decades, because my kids are only 14. I'll see them have a couple more years, but really, and this is just my point of view and my perspective, is that everything that we're doing right now is we're outputting to put ourselves on the record. We are not transmitting DNA biologically through semen and ovum to the next generations physiologically in flesh and blood. When I make my YouTube videos, when I'm even sending emails, when our kids are sending these endless texts to each other, we're just encoding the DNA to...
So it's masturbatory if you're not making children.
It's not masturbatory if you're not making children, but just know that probably this AI stuff that people are so upset about are probably... I believe that the Neanderthals at some point understood that, that they were looking at Homo sapiens and knew that they were, kind of...
We're on the out.
It's probably not fun to know that, you're dying.
So you're saying maybe there's that's a big what the inherent pushback is,
and also it's like I think that it's upsetting to a lot of artists, because when you see the large language models and AI stuff, and you're able to do like the music and the paintings in 5 seconds, it's a slap in the face to you when you've been taught that what you're doing is so.
Well, here's the thing, and I'll say this, and I've said this a million times. I'm not mad at the AI. I'm not mad at the large language models. I think what happened was it gave me a fucking dark, just a darker kind of be-in with the actual apathetic nature that the majority of people have towards the art that they had been consuming. Even darker than it was. That people really just don't care if it's a jovial thing, a sound or whatever. They don't care about anything else. It's just music on the background. You know what I mean? It just, when the AI art came thing, I was like, oh, I can do this. Cool. I don't need to mess with all that emotion and bullshit. It's we can just get here aesthetically. And it was the tool's the tool, and it's gonna do its job. I was never against the inevitable, the wholly inevitable aspect of it. But to me, it was just a really stark reminder of just how fucking, how trivial, the blood, sweat, and tears of making something it is in a large scale. How most people just they really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
How anything's sourced or anything, and that's not just AI. It's it's the whole.
I think for every individual person on each individual case, there's going to be different perspectives and the things that go after God. I'm not at war with anyone who's anti-AI, and I don't know how every individual actually feels about AI.
Right, it's got to be a nuanced.
Right, everybody's going to actually feel different things for different reasons.
Yeah.
The environmental arguments, I think, are whatever.
Those are major.
Yeah, they are major, but at the same time, it's not like it's a net benefit to Mother Earth to have electricity go through electric guitars and samplers, or
yeah, or sure.
Without the environmental cost. And I don't know how much actual AI.
How many musicians it takes to ruin a town like a data center?
I gotta tell you something. A lot of the data that's coming out by data centers is not all the information that we're getting currently as human beings in Western societies. We're getting it all through interested parties. We're getting the majority of our information through YouTube pundits and pundits online who have agendas.
Yeah. Which we all just became very aware of in multiple cases.
So there are people that are telling about the AI question. There are people that are telling us multiple things, and they can't all be right. We've got very learned people that are coming out here and telling us, "Look, I'm an expert in AI for these various reasons." Those reasons seem very legitimate, and they say for these various reasons,
we're fucked.
Where artificial intelligence, general AI, general artificial intelligence is right around the corner. And when it happens, we've got about 4 or 5 years, and when it happens, or 2 or 3 years, and when it happens, we're all vitally fucked for these various reasons.
Yeah,
we have a bunch of people saying, "I'm an expert in AI, and I hear my bona fides and credentials. They all seem very legitimate." And they're saying artificial intelligence is never going to happen. Never in a million years. Don't you worry about it. But these are the environmental problems with data centers. OpenAI is about to go bankrupt. ChatGPT can't wipe its own ass. It's a shell game. NVIDIA's going to go back. Oh, nobody knows what's going on. But all these people are telling us contrary information, none of which can simultaneously be true. Right? You can't have Schrodinger's cat equation occur, which the box off Schrodinger's cat.
The sine wave.
Right? So all we know, this goes back to me saying not getting upset about unknowable unknowns. All we can do is sit here, breathe in and breathe out, and know that we exist in a world where artificial intelligence is doing mad ass crazy boom bap shit. All I know is here's why I use artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
because as a person without access to artistic skill sets and artistic resources, I can tell it crazy wild ass shit that I want to see. And it will generate that image.
Yeah.
And I'll look at it and I'll be like, I don't have the photographic resources. I don't have access to crazy wild ass supermodels that I can say, dress up like freaky Barbie dolls with extra Heinz Dalmarax accoutrement and
I need the
shit.
Total Recall 3
black and white movie theater and make it like the 1930s, and y'all got big ass dildos too.
Tell me how do all those look the same though?
Right, but they don't all. Here's the other thing. And then it's wise asses like you that get all this AI art shit looks the same.
I mean, it did for a while. You have to be real.
Anime girl looks at cloud. See, all the AI art shit looks exactly the same.
Meanwhile, none of my AI art shit looks the same.
I mean, it's obviously getting better. I was making a joke. For a while, there was a very clear veneer of the AI art.
The AI haters be saying the same shit all the time because it puts all y'all motherfuckers out of work. Listen,
I'm out of work. I do this.
Everyone's like, we're all out of work.
I do this for the love of the game. And I think it's a bullshit process to go clickety clack.
Yeah.
I'm in love with the intrinsic little pieces of the process.
I get you.
And hey, that's part of yours. And I think that's great. You can put that in part of your process and you love that too. Coming up with the prompts, I'm sure, if you got some cool things.
You know what the real problem is?
What?
Capitalism.
Yeah.
It's not
always
intelligence. It's fucking capitalism.
Well, a philosopher named Nick Land would have some skills.
Oh my god. Yo, Nick Land came out of nowhere on me. I had never heard about this guy.
You never heard of him?
I had never heard about him. About 2 weeks ago, people were like, all of a sudden YouTube was like, Nick Land has been around since 1995 saying this shit. And I was like, who the fuck is Nick Land?
Yeah,
like,
CCRU.
Since 1995 saying this shit. I was like, who the fuck is Nick Land? And how the fuck has he been around since 1995? This is the white Alexander Duglin.
You know what happened? Set, right in that zeitgeist, and then fucking Tucker Carlson.
Apparently,
this one guy, this guy Conrad something. I don't know what his deal is, but I've like known guys like that my entire life that kind of it's like a marketing hunger where it's like, this is my in, this is where I'm going to put my stamp. I found my niche. My niche is going to be occult and rock and roll. Like no one's ever done that. You know what I mean? And it's like it's this whole thing and. Watching it or talking about it with other people, it's hard to listen to.
Oh my God!
It's just like Jesus fucking Christ.
Trip back to Chaos Magic 1.
Yeah, or and not even that. Yeah, it's like and getting it. So it's just so goofy.
The 33 is you add the two together to 6. But it's
the numogram.
Down. But really, it's an upside down, and then you. In numerology, plus the numosphere.
I remember.
I was like, "What the fuck?"
I remember when Nick Land was a ghost. Like people, he hightailed it to like Shanghai, China, and true fucking super villain. Yeah. But he this was like years and years and years ago, and people. I remember when an occult author got canceled on Twitter because she cited Nick Land because he was such a boogeyman, and now he's like on podcasts looking like a, just kind of melted, philosopher, like talking about his own gematria of when he did a bunch of meth in college and called on demons, it's just so funny that, I mean, those are like, pliable like experiential things that happen to all of us in different times, and whether it's like drug psychosis or metaphysical things, like they're all like meaningful things. It's just really funny to hear them.
But hey, honey, buddy, my theory about the 30-year nostalgia loop.
Oh yeah,
because true or false, Nick Land, where's his point of origin? 1990s.
I think it's 98. It was the CCRU book. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Coming. I wanted to ask you about like almost some kind of what do you call it, like taxonomy questions about nostalgia loops and whatnot. Like how do you measure nostalgia loops if you were to quantify them in a term?
Well, really, what it's come down to me is as far as it's really the nostalgia loop really is the term.
Yeah. But could you ever think of it like in, if you were to apply it within, your own kind of different factions that you have going on with cut-ups in sort of a, an algorithmic kind of form or a math equation, right? So like this many nostalgia loops, what would you like? You'd call them. You have some fun word vernacular for like the multiplicity of loop upon loop upon loop.
Well, we've used different terms. We've never really kind of broke it down or kind of formalized it.
Yeah.
But we have kind of thought about the strength of different loops, and over time, one of the things was I had to learn my flexibility.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was really married to the notion of a 20-year nostalgia loop because I had started off and had been married to that term and the notion of that it was a 20-year nostalgia.
It's a potent one. I think it's a perfect amount.
It's a very potent one, but it wasn't the most potent. And I had to open myself up and realize that really kind of the strongest one really is around the 30-year or 25-year one. And also I had to realize that I really had to be, though my kind of neurodivergent brain wants a hard line rule, it wants it to be a 30.
You want it to be around,
It wants to be a 25-year loop.
Yeah.
I really had to be more of a gardener about it and realize that it had to allow for a sweep.
Yep.
And I had to allow for a variable, and to really to know that it was between 25 and 30 years. And even though that made it harder or more difficult to communicate, it's harder to communicate about vibes and feelings and waves and variability.
Yeah, they're not round numbers, but I'm sure you've settled on somewhat of like a mean, right? Or like an average.
Looking at the year 1996, we could see that 30 years really does seem to work.
30, all
Check
right.
this out. The movie 12 Monkeys, if we think about 12 Monkeys, and then we think about 30 years and 25-year loops. A 25-year loop for the movie 12 Monkeys that came out in 1996 would put it right around the time of the COVID crisis. Sorry,
I don't care. Like,
yeah, I don't think that they don't even care.
they're definitely not. Like, what are they gonna do? Demonetize me? I've had 800 subscribers for 17 fucking years.
But I don't know. And also, I don't think that we're saying anything controversial.
No,
about
COVID.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
Yeah. I think you're allowed to say that it occurred in 2020, but so that's interesting. We think about the theories of that movie.
Yeah.
But then also you think about today, just about the theories of political oppression, being hunted, and governmental conspiracies, and the notion of being hunted down and being persecuted by the state and other themes that we see like that, or the popularity of things like the resurgence of popularity of X-Files. I went to a vintage fair, and there was X-Files memorabilia all over the place. Speaking of the big baggy pants.
Oh, sure.
The kids are all wearing big baggy pants nowadays. So I gotta say to you something. Why are the kids all wearing big baggy pants when they weren't alive when the big baggy pants were actually in fashion?
Like the Jinko.
The Jinko pants. These kids weren't alive, so it's not like the kids are remembering, oh man, I remember back in 1996 when we were all wearing big baggy pants. Let's wear big baggy pants again.
Yeah, because it was such a novelty even back then. Like,
these kids were all grown up seeing their parents wearing skinny jeans.
Well,
so why the fuck are they wearing big baggy pants?
It's the Wikipedia BANDCAMP generation thing. It's like to know something is to find its, BANDCAMP genre and read its Wikipedia entry and then to wear its thing. That's like, because of that, microculture, everything became subsumed and then repeated, that there was like architecture to every little, there can be no in-between or nuance, like, I can't like Creed and Nirvana. That's crazy. Which you can't.
But as the things come back, they come back with some of the rules, but some of the rules the kids will not get that you can't listen to Nirvana
or Nirvana and Pearl Jam was what are you doing with the Pearl Jam shirt, dude? I thought you liked Nirvana.
They won't get
that.
They won't get the rules. They won't, or things will come, like the new metal will come simultaneously with the grunge.
Yes, yeah.
What happens is in distinct phases. The 1990s will all become the 1990s. The 1990s were a distinct decade that ran.
Oh my God! I just had Woodstock '99, Fred Durst and Kurt Cobain, and my brain went nah.
It all becomes compressed into one thing. It comes back.
It becomes a module that is then, because it's now compressed, it is now something else. Yeah.
And then you add in
third mind.
The generation of AI music generation, and then all of a sudden these things get put into the algorithm.
And you'll have kids that sample people's AI music.
Yes.
Like hip-hop artists did, and that's going to be fun.
So what I think is going to happen is, what I say is this, is that though people have reactions and fears and responses to things like the AI music, the AI art, what I said is, what I think is inevitably going to happen is that there will be artifact exchange. And what's going to happen is you're going to see human artists and human musicians jamming over AI beats. You're going to see human artists work with, adjust, or imitate, and start to paint.
Have an AI member.
right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're going to see artists who are going to start. Why are you drawing 5-finger characters?
Mm-hmm.
Why do your hands look like that?
Yeah.
And the other thing that I tell people all the time is, look, Brian Eno said this. He goes, the mistakes and the glitches of and artificial artifacting of the technology of the past, once lost, will immediately become fetishized. I'm paraphrasing, and I'm to a very large degree.
And that's absolutely true. Yeah.
So the AI technology changes. The art prompts that I put into the modeling technology today will yield completely different results now than it will 3 months
There will be a Tumblr, BANDCAMP genre devoted to the Will Smith spaghetti.
Absolutely.
AI generation.
And there'll be people saying to me and other people, how do I make it look like Mid-Journey circa 2026?
Sure.
No. Like that. The plastic sheen on her cheeks. She turns half plastic there in the cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Not human. She looks too human still. I want to look 2022-ish.
And that's what I was saying. Like, but I see what you're saying. And now it's like we can look at it encapsulated as an actual, like almost like an artistic phase or movement. But at that time, that was it had the aesthetic that it really rang in as this is AI art. But you're right, it will be fetishized. And
it's completely understandable people talking about AI slop and the proliferation of it. There will always be that. What will end up happening is that I think what's going to end up happening is that people will turn away from things like the YouTube platforms where there's too much of it. Mm-hmm. And then people will go into the real spaces and we'll start looking at the people that choose to look at real art will look at real art and not like the AI stuff, and they won't look at the AI stuff.
I'm here for the reaction because I hope that part of me catches a wave on that shit where it's like, hey, I just really want to hear some fault in somebody's music. I want to hear some imperfection. Boy, I got you covered. I've got fucking.
The thing about that, I tell people like the stuff that I do on AI with AI music.
Yeah.
I tell you, unfortunately, it can do the fault. I always tell people all the time too. It's like people say I'm looking for the humanist music. Like when I do something like ritual dark ambient, I go. People are like, it's
ritual dark. That's what I'm saying.
People totally overthink. I saw an interview with one of the guys from who was it from? I think it was Controlled Bleeding. And he was like, look, people completely overestimate, how or underestimate how easy it is to make this music. Noise music.
And if it is that contrived,
there's a lot of people that make absolutely ridiculous third order. And some of the stuff they can say argue for the rise of artificial intelligence music. There's a lot of crappy real live musicians who, no offense, their shit, if it can be blown away by AI, fuck you. It's like survival of the fittest.
Sure, I know.
Taken out by AI art.
Listen,
fuck you.
I've gotten into far more fist fights with human musicians than I have AI musicians.
Listen, Mark Rothko or Jackson Pollock, who deal with these huge.
We both look at an empty wall.
Artists that work with huge canvases are not going to be replaced by AI art.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
It's these fucking douchebags who are doing these commissioned, Hatsy Tatsy, Isekai. Avatar, anime art girls and stuff, and paid by numbers, Dungeons and Dragons shit that are going to be replaced by AI artists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's again another.
Draftsmen are going to be replaced. Computer draftsmen.
That's all the technical, very technical.
All the people that are working on computers going to be replaced by AI artists.
Yeah, but at the same time, those trades, right, were creative artists would make their money. It's like how I was working in AV. I would do that, for the money, but the passion I'll handle all that stuff in a different way. I think that's
Listen, let me tell you something. These people drove around in cars.
Yeah.
Made by robots. They didn't go buy custom cars handmade by humans. The machines come
Yeah.
for everybody.
I see. I agree with you that there was like an over dramatization. I think
Yeah.
for a time
Everybody
about
wants to be an artist.
well, and I think that was the other issue was
You
just
don't
like
want to be an attorney?
yeah.
I want to be I want to be a writer. I want to be an artist.
I want to be an attorney.
Fuck, no, you don't.
Freaky Friday.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want to be an attorney.
I don't actually.
You
Yeah.
don't. You don't.
Yeah, no, the courtroom scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, none of this shit. You don't want any of this.
Yeah.
First of all, by the way, you want to be an attorney? Guess what? You're in the same fucking business as I'm being replaced faster. I'd be better off.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I'd be safer on a construction job than as an attorney being
Manually installing an LED wall.
Listen, the robots are coming for all of us.
Sure.
We're all dead.
I agree.
I would say that we're bound on our hands and knees, sucking each other's dicks. But guess what? The AI is coming for those jobs too, baby.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
But no,
Meanwhile, we had Minecraft to that part. They were like, "Get him!" Sex stuff in Minecraft where the grandmothers hang out.
Oh god, are people fighting about Goofits? I just see Sleep Token. I'm like, oh boy.
Oh, Sleep Token. Why are there it seems like words?
Oh yeah, I guess. Oh, that's how they did it. Yeah, I am using this cool app that's letting my phone be the OBS camera, and I guess that's what I get for not buying it. So there you go.
That's that stuff.
Well, look at me cropping that out. Putting.
I thought that's like artistic.
Oh, it's so unfortunate that it's white text over a white wall.
Oh,
what am I gonna do? No.
You might have to use some sort of app.
Yeah. Or.
Yeah. You could crop out this text with free app.
I think another big thing with any of that, though, I think is that binary where I think a lot of people that are trying to consider themselves creators are curators. And I think there's a huge distinction between, and curators are necessary. They're a necessary faction, but, curators are not creators. And we need creators, we need novelty, we need people that are going to not be disheartened by everything's already made, even though I'm these unique atoms encasted in this very unique symbiotic relationship with this very unique time and this spatial aware blah blah blah. It's it's just such cop-outs about why try anything new and everything's been done. It's like,
well, some people say that we need so many curators because there's so much stuff.
I mean, that's what I was saying. There is a need for them, but don't get it twisted. Fucking curators purporting to be creators are some of the most insufferable fucking archetypes out there. And I think those are the people that really spoil the fun. The fun opportunities that AI has kind of, given in other factions that don't have anything to do with just making cool pictures. It's an amazing tool. It's done incredible stuff, but of course, it's been spoiled by, people trying to utilize it to further their egoic self, right? So
well, the good thing is that there's so much artificial intelligent art out there, it defeats itself.
Yeah. And that's
99.9% of all it does is sit on somebody's hard drive who created it.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do to it.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with it? And that's the thing.
Do it. I make it. I end up signing up for these AI art programs.
Cool.
Right? They cost a certain amount of money. You have X amount of credits per day that you paid for. So I have to create the prompt. I have to generate it because I paid for it. So I just sit there and I create them.
Okay, but
They sit on my hard drive.
Is this a bigger kind of exercise in having you be very concise with your words? Are you learning to be more of a conduit with how to get your words across, or are you learning to be more of a conduit for AI to help you? You're learning the tips and tricks to, you know what I'm saying?
I was specifically talking about the AI art in that point, and it has to do with a lot of the AI art is probably, it's probably in a very large degree kind of just personally masturbatory. What I'll do is the AI that I work with, a lot of it, does have personal, it has creative and spiritual aspects to it.
I just mean
then you create the AR prompts, and then I have these AR programs that I sign up for. So a lot of it sometimes will be like, I'll have X amount of credits at the end of the day. I'll be like, I'll have to burn through them. So it's like generic prompts that are semi interesting, and you just create them. But a lot of it, you end up with prompts or like images. I'll be like, I don't want to post to Instagram like 50 times today.
Yeah.
So you get these like images. You're like, well, gee, I don't necessarily want to.
You want to schedule them?
Send anyone or just like put them anywhere. Like I also know that personally. I also know that like a lot of people don't like AI art.
Sure.
Personally. And so, like, I don't want to bomb Instagram with them, or I don't necessarily want to bomb YouTube, the YouTube community page with them. First of all, I know that no one watches the YouTube community page.
That's like where the posts and all that, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I
No
mean,
one looks at that shit.
because they feed them in through your scrolling.
Yeah, but even then,
I guess you're right. There is a collective page.
A lot of people just hate AI art. So if I were to do that, and especially now, like YouTube seems to be cracking down on AI art. I don't want people to start getting survey questions from me.
They're gonna take a big swing.
Yeah, this post from CW Chanter, was it repetitive?
Listen, they're gonna take a big swing. There's gonna be a lot of over slicing and dicing. There's going to be a lot of over regulation. People are going to start to come around, to different, amenities of it. They're like, why are we over slicing it here and there? But I do agree that there does need, and that's what I was meaning about the debate. These are proper discussions to have. We do, I think, maybe as a body, like, need to come up with an idea of like, how are we going to make sure that we are able to tell,
right,
like, this is AI and what is not, and those are all, I think, very.
Here's where I think we're gonna end up with AI for me.
Yeah.
Regarding to AI art, like a pharaoh, I'm gonna be buried with about 5 terabytes.
Which is just like a flash drive.
You're right. Of the finest, freakiest digital action figure and BJD digital hose.
Digital hose.
Digital hose.
From different terror.
Right, and when the aliens find me, they're gonna be like, this motherfucker, this must have been a thing for these guys. This guy's.
I can't believe
This guy must have been some sort of.
he digitized his loves and.
Yeah, no, seriously, they'd be like, this must have been a thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like the bones of like 3 of his, the ashes of 3 cats, photos of his kids.
I just love just the idea
of 3 of his kids. Some fat ass broad must have been his old lady. 500 terabytes of fucking virtual
and a really big extra hard drive.
This was shit. This one's got 5 fingers. 90% of this stuff could have been deleted. I don't know. It must have just been hitting all fucking day. So we know he burnt all the water, asshole.
Oh, John says, what we drinking there? I got CW some, what was this? The Hal's New York ginger ale. And I'm having a seltzer. And there's some Dr. Brown's.
Jonas, I point out that Zelda is 40 years. Gonna be 40 years old now soon. Yeah, so the 80s are absolutely over. So part of the problem that we're going to see going into the 90s is that the nostalgia machine for the 80s related stuff.
But don't you think they all because this is the way I've been seeing a lot of that, is that it's hyper existing parallel times. It's just like when we actually start to tap into it, like these microcultures and loops are ongoing. And it's only when, I guess there are some zeitgeist punches like Stranger Things.
So,
all right.
So this was part of the problem that I had. So when I first started studying the loops, it was the early 2000s. And it was very easy to see and to explain to people, hey guys, the 90s were the 70s.
Yeah.
See, you get it. You get the clear examples, the Vietnam movies, the resurgence of the Vietnam movies, the stuff, the 70s stuff and the 90s stuff was easy to parallel.
Cinema.
The grunge fashion looking like the 70s fashion, easy to see. and the 2000 stuff, the music to parallel to the 80s stuff.
The excess and plastic.
The resurgence of the retro video game scene, the pixelated art was easy to track. When we got to the 2010s and then starting to branch into YouTube and explain to people, it got very difficult because then was when we started to see the feedback loops. Things started to be very mixed bag. I started getting stuff on.
Always wondered, do you think there was an inciting source? Because I always loved that theory that it was like, the testing of the atom bomb was like, a smattering of like, parallel, things happening, or 9/11. Like being a major component to that.
So probably around between 1975 and 77. I was born in 75.
Mm-hmm.
Between 1975 and 77, you have the birth of disco, punk rock, and hip hop.
Yeah.
And around that time, you also have, the Watergate situation, things happening. You have the satellite technology coming on board. But really with disco, hip hop, and punk rock, you have the fracturing where you used to have a universal youth culture happening in the various first world nations. All the kids were listening to rock and roll, or all the kids were listening to jazz, or all the kids were listening to rockabilly.
Or they were watching one of three channels.
Now, the kids were not necessarily all doing the same thing. The gay kids and the dancers and the hip kids and the artists were going to the disco, or some of them were going to the punk rock clubs, or the urban kids were doing the hip hop thing and going their own way.
So it's like there was an outlet for deconstruction that was actually a unification.
Yeah. And then there's people going back and forth. There's mixed bag stuff. There's cross fertilization. Then you have the art community coming in as a bourgeoisie overstructure, taking some stuff out, leaving some stuff behind, making choices between who gets to be escalated, who gets to be de-escalated, making choices and stratifications between high and low culture, edifications between those different groups. And so you have separations out where you no longer have these universal things. And so that's when that stuff then comes up in 1997, where then you start having those things feed back into each other, where you have Green Day,
Marilyn Manson,
and then you get who's just basically Alice Cooper, mixed in with Kiss.
Yep.
You have Slipknot come right back on Kiss, but also with professional wrestling. And then a couple years on.
But then there was also, because there was something too you were saying where the roots of that, though, with that kind of deconstruction to make unification, like through the punk ethos and all that. And then to see it kind of slowly commodify and then become not an ethos, but an aesthetic. That was like the beginning of when things became that, what would you call them before? Like modules.
Right.
They became modules of ideas that were just basically character sheets for these magnanimous, multi-dimensional ideas became these solidified little things. Yeah.
And then when they start to lose meaning and they just become fashion statements and they can be rearranged, and then all of a sudden you have things like pastel goth, or you have...
What's that?
That's when you have the goths who just wear pastel colors.
What?
You never heard of pastel goth?
No, that's not. I mean, it sounds cool. I like some pastel colors.
Goth, but they're all pastel colors. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm kind of here for that. If you're gonna do a subculture, just be as fucking binarily
and that just ends up the endless debate of is this goth, is that not goth? But the whole point of it is just to be able to continue the conversation of what is goth.
Sure, yeah.
Which is just essentially it's an excuse to be goth.
And so here's the
reason to be goth.
Here's Easter colors, like the most antithetical.
The point is, what is goth?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, what is this? Well, you know what I mean?
I guess, I'd have to hear the rest, because obviously they're poking fun at, it's not about the aesthetic. It's not,
all really it is that basically you have a certain point where the the strongholds of what defines goth as a culture, Sisters of Mercy, Bauhaus, The Cure, whatever.
Tones on
It becomes too old. The kids aren't listening to it, but what they are listening to is they're playing video games that features little kawaii goth creatures from Japan.
Oh my god!
Whatever. So they naturally just start putting Hello Kitty with the death mask on, and that becomes, and more pink enters the picture until they start just dressing like pastel colors, and that becomes
baby goth,
pastel goth. And then all of a sudden it has a name, and they start doing it more online than in clubs, because when it goes online, people just start changing it all over the place. It becomes a MySpace thing.
Yeah.
What is
copy pasta? Yeah.
Emo used to be. I remember when I first heard the term emo. It literally
Sunny Day
like Fugazi.
Fugazi, yeah.
Rites of Spring.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
it's emotional punk.
Like the Promise Ring. You remember Promise Ring?
Unfortunately. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, blink twice, and it means people with fucking literally poison hair.
Oh, who are you talking about?
Like, those people on MySpace.
Yeah,
poison
the
hair.
Big Scene. Yeah.
How the fuck did that happen? That's out of everybody's control.
God, that was a terrible time. I was actually touring, like, and doing things around. That was like 2006, right? 2007.
There is no.
I remember that.
The cultures are connected.
Yeah.
There is a direct line of causation and creation between the scene kids and punk rock, but there is no
substance.
There's kind of, it's hard to. We want to say there's no substance, but a sociologist will come to us and say,
"Sure, yeah,
you egotistical fucking ass bastards." You want to say,
of course, yeah, these are humans.
You want to deny these as your progeny.
Yeah,
you want to deny these as your children. And first of all, you want to deny that if we look at the photos of you at 14 or 15, you don't look like. You know what I mean? No,
I'm wearing, yeah, totally. I'm wearing a Nirvana shirt, yeah. It's like scraggly hair or whatever, but like it's, my high school graduation, black hair, fucking Argyle sweater vest, white button-up shirt all the way, messy black hair, and a Tones on tail or a Love and Rockets pin. And like that was, I'm not even. Like people would have already been like, oh, is he goth or something? But like that was just not even, you know what I mean?
There you go.
But that's I don't know why I brought that up. But just to poke it up on, like, you can look back and be like, okay, I can kind of cast on that. But there wasn't any of that intention. Whereas, because we were, I mean, I'm sure you were too, that you saw that growing up. You saw factions of people trying things on, and it used to be very like, superficial, and it would be very, they're trying things on. It's a pretension. It's just to look at it in the most kind of menial, surface level things. But it's insane that became the like crux of creating those things. Cause like seeing kids stuff, those bands and stuff, I think were like, I remember like technically being pissed off. I got in an argument because that was back in the day when I used to tour with a laptop, and that was crazy back then. And I had Reason playing, and it would break down all the time. And I swore it off, and like only now, like 20 years later, have I been like, I'll bring something with a computer inside it on stage, But like back in the day, they were like, doing blast beats with fucking like crazy triggering and all that. It's like they had the wherewithal, the whatever. They were into it as musicians and stuff. But all of that was very much a marketing need, for them to put their skills to a capitalistic construct of like, hey, more opportunity through this route. The base standard is use a lot of hairspray, wear tight pants, and fucking black and pink, everything, yeah, and like, that just became the change out the variables. That was like all that stuff that was happening. Yeah.
And the other thing is the modes of communication and how we found out these things. Like, so I'm spending my time every day kind of checking in on this day 30 years ago, and I've been doing
I love that.
every
Yeah.
day since January started, like looking back into 1996.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest wake-up calls is how quiet things were news-wise. And then also just being reminded of where the technology was, that it wasn't a 24-hour, always online. You went online to do things specifically. You interrupted the day, the household's telephone connection time to do something specific online.
Yeah, you spent 15 minutes looking at show times on AOL.
Right.
Yeah.
Doing something specific.
No.
Or whatever. Or did something because you wanted to play a game online. You did something online specifically at night when things shut down.
Yeah.
Interrupt people.
No one's gonna call.
Right. And also just things like physical media and stuff. But also, like, how you found out about things. You had to get magazines. You had to hunt for magazines. If you weren't in a hip city, if you weren't near Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, New York, or LA, your ability to know or be connected to scenes or find out about, it ain't punk rock until the punk rockers say it's punk rock. You weren't able to play.
You had to read liner notes. You had to see the bands they thanked. You had to go steal those records from the local pawn shop.
Yeah, part of it was important that the members of Metallica wore Misfits t-shirts and recorded those songs on that garage EP
because they knew they would.
Then you found out that these bands
pay it forward.
Haven't existed, and then went and got those tapes, and then found out about these other bands. And then talk to these other people in the actual physical record store to find out these actual stories. If there was a record store to find out about that shit, that was a better record store than just a fucking Sam Goody or something.
I had a pawn shop and just had CDs that people used to, and I'd steal them. I got caught stealing a Beavis and Butthead Do America soundtrack. Yeah, I'll never live that one down. That was a sad day. It ruined my relationship with the pawn shop that basically fed my entire,
You still have it?
No, yeah, they found it on me. I didn't get it. But, it's funny. I'm just now... It's the two heads I remember. It's
the
just
one
them,
that's got the
road.
Singing, they have the one that's singing I Got You Babe on it with Cher.
Maybe. I just remember their heads really big, blue sky, like the road or whatever.
Nice.
But and I didn't even really want it that much. I remember I liked the White Zombie cover of a roller coaster, right? No, it's Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then White Zombie did the good one. Rob Zombie animated that section. Whatever. Yeah, I wasn't even that into it. But that was my circuit, was because it was such an influx. Because it was a pawn shop, so people were turning them in all the time, and I'm just now realizing that that was a really sad end to that relationship, and it was a very shameful end. That's a bummer. Yeah.
Way to go out, man.
Yeah. I know that's the rub,
But. Nowadays, it changes when people's access point is the internet because there is no quality control, and the lunatics have taken over the asylum, and maybe that's why things like scene music turns into what it does.
That's where curators come in, but there's none of those either. It used to be Lester Bangs is a curator. You would listen to you would read his reviews on things, and you had trusted people like DeMatteis and all of these famous critics and album reviewers, and you had your people that would help, and they call them now tastemakers. I hate that, but it's they were curators. They were when I worked at Blockbuster in high school, when I worked at Movie Madness in Portland, one of the honors was you built your shelf. Yeah. And this is Keats' shelf, and these are my picks, and you changed them out, and people would come by, and you know, see the different things. It was like, yeah.
Chitty bang bang.
It's just Ice Road Truckers season 1.
Truckers 1 and 2.
Just 4 copies of the same season over and over again.
Snow Dogs.
Yes. Cuba Gooding Jr. Yeah.
Who could be Snow Dogs?
Dude, Snow Dogs is a deep cut.
Damn.
Dude, I was working at Blockbuster when Snow Dogs came out. That was a trauma response, actually.
Absolutely, man.
Because dude, that's so funny. Because I specifically remember there was a week they would call all the time. Everyone would call you guys got Snow Dogs in yet? Snow Dogs? Yeah, Snow Dogs? Snow Dogs? No.
They were like honest.
These are honest fucking people. Yeah.
Snow Dogs.
It's like fucking Snow Dogs, you know? Man, that brought me back. You hit that. What is it? That's a 20 years nostalgia loop. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's crazy.
Almost ended his career.
I love when that happens to actors. Like, they're just jobbing people, and they chose something. They weren't even that bad. It's just so shameful that they were a part of it.
What happened to Snow Dogs? He was like on top of the world. It was right after like Jerry Maguire.
Of course,
like,
yeah.
Like the stars were aligned. It's like you can do no wrong.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you start making like the fruity.
Cuba Gooding, you can do no wrong.
Yeah. It's like, hold my beer. Snow Dogs. Boat trip.
Oh, what was Norbert, Eddie Murphy, and
Yeah, it was like
yeah, that whole run of those comic. I remember the movie Pluto Nash. Yeah. Pluto Nash. That's
Austin Powers is so big. I can do Austin Powers.
Oh, whatchamacallit? Fucking Jones. Osmosis Jones. Yeah.
Was that Will Smith?
Chris Rock.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
That whole era. That's 90. Dude, Osmosis Jones is 96. No. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's probably 2001. I was going to grab my phone. Not like I forgot we were streaming.
Oh my god.
Sorry, we're probably... I was like, are we being loud?
No. Hold on. He's having a show about Snow Dogs.
Y'all got Snow Dogs?
Next door to like, that reminds us. Snow Dogs.
Yeah. That's so funny.
But so listen, recently, I was taking the time about 30 years ago. Let me take you on a deep dive. Recently, I don't know if this was yesterday or the day before. Might have been yesterday. Hold on. There were reruns. And there was a movie of the week.
Sure. I miss those. Joe Bob Briggs.
The Simpsons was a home diddly home where the Simpson children get taken away by the state and get put in with the Flanderses.
I remember.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
Then the episode of Married with Children was called Reverend Al, where Al Bundy becomes a preacher, momentarily a famous preacher for telling it like it is. And
classic trope.
the movie it was paired with was Coneheads.
Coneheads, yeah. That was a fart in the wind.
Right. Part of the reasons that Coneheads was a fart in the wind.
Because it was an 8 or 70s, right? 70s skit?
It was a 77 skit.
Mm-hmm.
The movie came out in 93.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Had it come out later, I believe it would have been more popular. Had it come out in 1997, it would have come out at the peak of popularity of The X-Files.
Oh, I guess, yeah, because the alien. I was thinking more.
A lot more with it come out the popularity of The X-Files.
Sure, yeah. I don't know if the alien. I guess, yeah, because the aliens were in the zeitgeist. For me, I think the X-Files thing was in the same, like, it's that same vehicle that Art Bell rode so well, or even Twin Peaks, where it's on massively syndicated things,
Right.
and it was just like absolutely fucking bewitching and scary and like interesting, but it was still like packaged as a procedural and tonight on Fox. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it's like this. It's this way they pierce that. But you're right, I guess. Is that a bigger, like, are you saying there's a bigger tag there for the, yes, 97? Oh my God, yeah, Alien Ant Farm. Not the band, I'm sorry, Alien Farm. What's the fucking, there was a skate company too.
Right.
Like, the grades were all over the place.
You have to remember that I don't know if you know this about Dan Aykroyd is a true
Yeah, oh, for sure, yeah.
Crystal Skull,
Mm-hmm.
Edgar Cayce.
We're
He's a
by.
member of the Edgar Cayce Society.
That's funny.
You could go on the Edgar Cayce Society.
Does he know that that's actually David Wilcock, or?
I don't know what his feelings on David Wilcock are, but we do know what his feelings on Edgar Cayce are, because if you go to the Edgar Cayce Library or Society, they have multiple videos of him speaking there.
Yeah.
They do.
I've actually, I don't know if I've actually heard a recording, or maybe it was a reenactment, or maybe it was a recording, but it's funny, in my bathroom right now at home, I saw Mary picked up one of my Edgar Cayce ESP books from like the 1960s. I was like, "What? Where'd you get that? It looked interesting." She said it looked interesting or something. It's a weird. So anyways,
and he's definitely a true believer when it comes to the alien question.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that if he had just waited
I see.
a couple of years more and waited to, because the Conehead movie is just a cash cow grab. It's just one of the.
It's just printing
one of
money.
the Saturday Night Live era movies from that era of the '90s. It's
Yeah.
Pat. Like, it's basically just the skit for
an hour
and a half,
yeah.
and then whatever.
I liked It's Pat, because It's Pat also did try to bring in the band thing, and you know what I mean?
They tried.
I probably have more rosy eyes about it because I haven't seen it in fucking forever.
Well, it's also one of those things that's like, if Freddie got fingered, it's like, how did this happen? You know
I was
what I mean?
fucking-
Like, it is what it is.
I was a champion of that movie when I was a kid. I'm a champion of that movie
No,
now.
I mean, Freddie Got Fingered is one of those movies to this day. I mean, it has bestiality in a major motion picture that to this day it's illegal.
The moment
People,
I
Freddie Got
remember
Fingered is technically illegal in all 50 states.
the title alone is so nefarious and
Ladies
fucked
and
up.
gentlemen, it's Freddie if you see the movie, it's freely distributed everywhere in the 50 states of the United States of America. And it absolutely, without a doubt, features a scene that in no uncertain terms is 100% illegal in all 50 states of the Union.
Because there was definitely simulated enjoyment on that.
It's not simulated in any way, shape, or form.
No, I mean, I thought you were talking about the elephant.
No, I'm talking about the scene where he goes up to the horse and absolutely 100% fillets a horse.
Oh man,
That is not a simulated sex act.
no, yeah,
It can blow me.
I mean, Tom Green made his whole thing about going there, so it's no doubt in my mind he actually did it.
No,
Yeah.
it's no doubt in my mind that he's doing it.
Yeah.
And it's illegal in all 50 states.
Man, I love him. He's like a perfect archetype too. Of like watching his like churn as a. Have you kept up with him?
Absolutely, but
Yeah.
but also it's just it's the hypocrisy and insanity of the United States of America. That came out of a major motion picture house.
Mm-hmm.
It is freely distributed. You can buy it on Amazon. You can rent it on Amazon. You can watch it on.
I'm waiting to hear the problem.
It's and no one. I have no problem with it. It is what.
I see what you're saying though. Yeah.
It is what it is. But at the same time, it goes to show you, like, why guys like Peter Soto's write books like, oh, by the way, you can throw me in jail, you can find me for what you want. Your ass are all hypocritical pieces of garbage. You are the pedophiles.
I wondered
You're the
that
weirdos.
because there
Go
was
to hell.
that like you know, I don't want to use the term because that's not what I mean, but that was a bell curve, but it has no relation to that shitty fucking book or hypothesis, but of like, you know, the really like the comics code, you know, the fucking the Red Scare, all that, and then like we have the fucking beautiful like pink flamingos and like fucking going all the way there, and we do seem to be in this undersweep back into the
the things that I can see on Netflix, on Amazon Prime. First of all, I would say this is that I've thought about this. Is that,
but it doesn't mean because it's all like you know what I mean though.
Well, what about this? Is it true or false? Would you agree with me? This I don't know how much B, Z grade horror movies you watch. True or false? The mid to late 2000s was the golden age of on-screen castration.
Yeah.
In modern cinema.
Yeah, and like
you cannot have a horror movie post 2005 without somebody getting their dick cut off.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I would even say
that you can show a phallus.
I would even say the fact
is coming off.
that there was an entire genre that brought people to the theaters that was torture porn. there's no like metaphorical or like implicit horror. I guess it is implicit horror, but it took horror so literally. It's like it's not a fucking like creative venture into like the mindscape of Clive Barker. This is like, wouldn't it fucking be scary if you were tied down in a foreign country and kidnapped and skinned alive? Yes.
The problem is it was just all of a sudden just became this like cavalcade of like it was just like the director was fully just like ancillary.
Yeah.
It was just like all about like the technical craft of like the most insane, bizarre, like Rube, like what was it, the Rube Goldstein approach to like how many circular saws can we cram into like a death mask?
Yeah.
Like attached to a child or whatever.
They did get some. There was what was that imprint Asylum for a while? Yeah.
Like the sci-fi people.
Yeah.
Or have you heard of Asylum F?
Yeah, I was gonna say they were sleazier, but like same quality of like production. But man, that is so funny. I hope that we're not on this. Like, where do you go from that though? Like, where do you swing up? Like, what do you call that? Like
Tom Waits. I saw a place in Amsterdam, quadruple X. I couldn't imagine what that would be. Women without skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had I've had this like title. I've used it on a song, but I always like come back to it. It's like built stories and stuff. It's like one of those titles. It's always been a headless body in a topless bar.
You ever do this? You come up with a line like that, and every time you're about to say to someone, and you're gonna like do jack shit with your life. You're gonna do but every time you're gonna say to some bum like me in front, you stop yourself for a second because you say to yourself, wait, should I tell him?
Yeah, he's gonna steal it.
He's gonna steal it. Not yet. Do something.
Yeah. There's always that. Yeah. Well, now I can't.
It's time to drop food for the fat man.
Yeah.
Not suspecting.
Do you want to give this away? Yeah. No, I could ever care about that. Like putting stuff out on the internet for 20 some odd years. Like if they wanted it, they would have taken it.
It was what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? There's shit you can do with it anyway.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
What we do? Put it to an AI generator?
Yeah, you could mutilate it in such a way no one ever. Like, it just doesn't matter anymore.
Blink twice.
Yeah.
Camion's out there going, here's my new track. Headless chick topless.
Oh no.
It's not even the line, you son of a bitch.
I haven't kept up with it. I heard.
There's nothing to keep up.
Yeah.
He survived.
Okay, so
I'm kidding.
He was sick though. There was something.
We're not talking about anything.
Sure.
We're happy he's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I feel bad. I kind of dropped. There was a time there I felt this was like pretty ulterior to like what my normal stance is with social media, but there was like a time where Twitter I felt was like really like. I wouldn't say valuable, but I was having the most generative like constructive kind of, you know, conversations and back and forth.
I left Twitter like, I feel like it's been years now.
I left like around the Musk.
Yeah.
Taking.
It was what I realized was when I was getting death threats by an actual Nazi.
I remember.
I would send it to the review board.
Yeah.
And it was like there was no like ifs, ands, or buts. It was an actual death threat.
It said, "Hey."
Effectively, person was identifying themselves as a Nazi, and I was like.
But it says in Minecraft in parentheses.
So. It didn't even say like that was the thing. It didn't even say like in Minecraft. And I was like, look, here's the deal. Bop, bop, bop. And then I got the automated response of this doesn't seem to violate the things. And I wrote back, I was essentially like, if this doesn't violate your things, I think there's a problem. And I just reached the point, I was like, there's no point here. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just, there was no point anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized that I've got X amount of people that I follow, X amount of people that follow me. And I just realized, like, all it had been was, people follow me, I follow back, but then I realized that like 90% of the people that follow me were just people that were promoting some fucking book, right?
So that's the other thing, like
just people promoting shit.
You get, you know, the whole like current of podcasting and seeing how that's like, you know, become this like fucking just generative, you know, wind up toy kind of same talking points. Why am I seeing this same person on the 6 other, you know, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. I think that's like we're bringing it back around because it was, you know, my like earnest assessment to why would people like put so much of their, you know, free time and all of this to, you know, not talk to people that inspire, you know what I mean? Like there's not like an authentic kind of quality to it. And it was at that moment I realized, you know, like, duh. It's the reason why, you know, it's like, it's a mill. They always say consistency. And, you know, not everybody can just gab on a mic for 2 hours. So what do? Like, send me your third string fucking, you know, metaphysics author on Amazon. Let me talk to him. We'll talk about simulation theory for the 100th time.
At a certain point, YouTube was people on YouTube making YouTube videos because it was a place to make your own content. And at a certain point, people were able to make money on YouTube as a part of the program.
Did you ever get to the? Yeah.
No, it was. But then I was demonetized. Once I got demonetized, there was this endless struggle.
Was that before or after that apocalypse situation?
I think it was. I can't even remember. I can't remember like what, because there's been so many apocalypses.
Now it was like 2017. I feel like it was.
Yeah.
I remember that because that was when I was like, oh my god! Like all I need to do is like put out the stuff I'm already doing and I would get money. That's like the perfect fucking, you know, ploy or whatever. And that dream was already dead by the time I got there.
The truth. But yeah, I mean, you know, what I said is like, if you look at the way that YouTube works, is that basically investing your time, energy, and effort in YouTube as a money-making concern, I think it's highly inadvisable, because if you look at how it's structured, it's basically setting up a brick and mortar store in a mall where you have no lease, and at any time they can come in and seize all of your property.
Yeah, and with
all of your retail assets.
The worst aesthetic taste and decor.
Yeah,
like, you know,
it's just a no-win situation.
They're like digital ghettos. I always laugh at that. You remember back in MySpace, it was such a big deal to change the background wallpaper. You know what I mean?
And everyone chose glitter rhinestones.
Yeah. But still, even just that ability of customization, that's completely gone now, and all of it. Isn't that crazy? Like, even the smallest amount. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm happy we still have the site, even if it could be wonky and weird or designed stupidly, but that's me and my dumb CSS knowledge, or learning at the time HTML code like throughout the years. It's like one of those. I do feel that where people are going to be realizing, like, we'll be ready for them. Like, oh, we got you covered. You want some, vulnerable, fault-ridden, like working.
So what I think is what we got to do, what we got to prepare for next is leaving this internet. I think the future, what one point was you had a real world activity. You had a band, you had an artistic practice, you had a shop, you had a business, you had something, and you went online to promote that real world activity.
Sure.
And at some point we made some sort of crucial switch.
Yes.
And we started doing these online businesses, and our real world presence was we woke up in the real world, we started feeding these physical bodies just so that we were interfacing with these virtual worlds where we were maintaining these virtual businesses that never ended up really making money for the vast majority of us. So I think the next stage is we go back to the real world and we start investing our time, energy, and effort into real world practices, not these virtual online activities.
Well, I mean, but that's like, it's the scary part though is we've got to be clever about the combustibility of the space of which we operate in, because it's a moot point to consider anything long term regarding rent and structures. So like what there needs to be, I think, is like a kind of a group, like an ensemble, in a sense, like that kind of travels around, keeps the same consistency of what's happening, whether it's like events with shop or whatever, they can travel around and weather landlords, whether we're gonna uproot this for whatever reason. We're gonna just, because it's like you're just gonna have to be hopscotching from here on out if you're in the city or otherwise. Otherwise, you move to the 6, you get an airport hangar, and you figure it out. You know what I mean?
How about David Wilcock?
Yeah. Well.
Airport hangars.
Yeah.
Airport hangars.
That big brain had to have one thought in there.
There you go.
Is this your water?
It may be.
Okay.
I was given free water downstairs.
There you go.
I think it's free. They'll bill me when I get downstairs.
Oh, I'll get the bill. Just kidding. I did break down
$10,000 for water
the other night and just popped open the complimentary $8 bottle of ALGOL II.
That's what they get you.
That's what they get you.